Wake up, really gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo. Set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 So life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. I always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flaws, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause it's sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up, really gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Hey guys, Bullhorn Betty here, giving you breaking daily updates related to the Sebastian Rogers case. This is going to blow your mind, guys. I've been personally covering the case of Sebastian Rogers, a 15-year-old autistic boy that disappeared from Hendersonville, Tennessee. His mother, Katie Proudfoot, and stepfather, Chris Proudfoot, came out and told their stories in this interview about what transpired related to the disappearance of their 15-year-old son. Katie, Sebastian's mother, describes the day before he disappeared, Sunday, February 25th. They went to BJ's, he got a colossal popcorn, he was just a very happy, jovial young man, and they came home, put some snacks away, and then they went to a local bowling alley, and next to the bowling alley was a steakhouse where they ate. After they ate, they loaded up and went home. He took out the garbage, and the rest is history. He goes to bed at 9 p.m. Mom goes to bed at midnight. She awakes at 6 a.m. to wake Sebastian up as she normally does, and he's gone. Christopher Proudfoot states that he was not even in the area at the time that Sebastian left the home, that he was many miles away as he was working in Memphis and staying in his camper in Mississippi. A lot of people watching this case unfold became very, very skeptical of both Katie and Christopher Proudfoot's story about what happened leading up to Sebastian's disappearance. Many people noticed the deep abrasion scratches in some areas looking like bite marks on Christopher Proudfoot's arms some 8 days after Sebastian disappeared. Seth Rogers, which is Sebastian's biological father, decided to start doing some ground searches and raised money on a GoFundMe page to aid those efforts. Christopher Proudfoot threatened Sebastian's father in a lawsuit related to the GoFundMe page and also the fact that Seth appeared to make the other side of the family, look bad. Many people went out searching for Sebastian Rogers, and the one thing that was missing out of all the efforts volunteers put forth was Christopher and Katie Proudfoot. And when people asked them why they weren't out searching for their very son that went missing from their home, they told people that it was because law enforcement told them to stay home. However, that very evening, they were seen at a barbecue joint outside of the home enjoying a dinner. Meanwhile, never once searching for their very son that they say they care about and want to come home. Media was in an uproar, demanding answers from both Katie and Christopher Proudfoot why they're not helping with any searches for their son. And what was their response? They got in their camper, packed it up, and took off. Sebastian's mom and stepfather took off to a campground in Mississippi where they returned home for a short while and then returned back to this campground. Right now, it appears that the camper is still at this mobile home park or RV park with Chris's truck, but we have confirmed Chris is not staying there and has installed a camera on the camper. There are so many people curious as to why there's a camera on this camper but not on their home before Sebastian Rogers walked out that door. The sheriff was very cordial at the beginning of this search for Sebastian when he truly believed both Katie and Chris Proudfoot were deemed innocent and had no culpability in the disappearance of their son. If you look at the newest interview Nick Barris has with this very sheriff, you see a much different demeanor. Does this case anger me? You darn right. Does it make me want to almost lose my mind? You darn tootin'. Chris and Katie have a lot of explaining to do because what I just laid out for you is only a minor, small amount of the case against them.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.
What is up, my beautiful people of YouTube and X? It's nice to see you this beautiful Monday morning. Can you guys hear that? I actually had it hooked up the other day and I pushed a couple buttons, but when I went back to review my live, I couldn't hear them. So I'll find out if you guys could hear that on the way down. Good morning, everyone. It's nice to see you. We're going to have a call-in show here in just a little bit. I wanted to go over a bunch of stuff with you. Why am I still playing that video? Because nothing's changed, right? I mean, all the information is still the same. You know, I should just be putting that on like a repeat because nothing seems to change. I mean, their behavior, Chris and Katie's behavior, of course, keeps getting worse and worse and worse and worse. But for the most part, all the information is still the same. I made that video like a month ago or so, like right after the last press conference we received from law enforcement about a case they don't like misinformation on. Really weird stuff. But anyways, I digress, right? We need a shirt. I digress. QRBP, PB, that's a mouthful. Good morning. It's nice to see you. Blessed Texan is up in the house. Paula, good morning. Candy Rapper, good morning, Love Bug. Kathy, good morning. Who else do we have? Bullhorn Betty is present. We've got Marjorie up in the house. SSD, Unicorn. Oh, Unicorn, it's nice to see you, my love. Virgo Angel, VA Dynamics, it's nice to see you. Stephanie, Pale Rider is up in the house. Joyce is here. Black Sky. Drew, good morning, my love. Beverly, good morning. Nurse Sandy, it's nice to see you. Misty, good morning, my love. Happy Monday, everyone. Three Flying Doves is up in the house. Badook, it's nice to see you, everyone. Is it Treese? I hope I got your name right. If I got your name right, I hope I did. It's nice to see you this morning. Fire and Ice is up in the house. The Real Me Too, Pink, it's nice to see you. Elsie, good morning. Good morning, good morning. Ashley's in the house, obsessed with true crime. So am I. Hellcat, well, good morning, my love. Nice to see you. Heather. Mick Briggs. Hopefully I got it right. We don't know. Salty Mama. Salty Ma'am. Excuse me, Salty Ma'am. Good morning. Anybody else that I missed? Marla, it's nice to see you from Indiana. Honey Dip, good morning. If I missed anyone, it is nice to see you. I Spy, I see you. I see you. I spy too. I spy too. We've been spying a lot. So I wanted to go through a bunch of stuff with you. We're just going to go kind of back to the beginning, and we're going to walk you guys through to where we are today. If anybody's new to this case, don't worry. You'll get some information. There's not a whole lot, right? There's not a whole lot legit corroborated information. Heck, even the story that Katie and Chris told us 2 months ago about what happened leading up to the disappearance of Sebastian Rogers hasn't really held a whole lot of water. I mean, yeah, they went to bed. Yeah, they woke up. And yeah, a kid was gone. But other than that, it seems like the whole case is just a mess. And every time we turn around, it's more drama. And it's more drama, you know, done by the Proudfoots or their side of the family. We heard some bombshells this last week, you know, of Seth's team just they're not willing to work anymore. They've been trying to put together with the Proudfoots, you know, a kind of a united front. Because let's face it, if they did nothing wrong to their child, and they have a father that's willing, able, and wanting to work with them to bring their child home, and they run off, and they keep running off, and then you're finally, hey, you know, yeah, let's just kind of bring it back here. Let's, you know, we got a son missing over here. Is there anything that we can do? Can we work together here? Let's get some dogs out there and track the dogs. You know, this is the problem I have with the Proudfoots. They keep thinking every single thing is a direct result to them because they got a freaking guilty ass mind. That's why. Because normal people allow dogs to come on their property. Here's why. Where's everybody, right? Let's talk like the idiot, Chris Proudfoot, right? Let's talk like him. Let's be the R-tard that he used to talk about Sebastian being, right? Let's talk about how much of an R-tard Chris Proudfoot is. Do you know that Brian Laundrie's body was literally 1,500 yards away from the car that he left in a parking lot? And you're talking about 5 weeks, multi-million dollars worth of searches, and he was literally laying 1,500 yards away from the last place he was known to be. Millions of dollars, all the bells and whistles, all the dogs in that area. And he was laying 1,500 yards away from his vehicle. I want that to sink in. We can have all the best technology. We can have all of the best equipment, the best sniffing dogs. And sometimes it just takes manual labor, walking and researching and searching over it again. I guarantee that area had been searched multiple times. Multiple times. With fixed wing planes, helicopters, drones, and probably some equipment we have no clue exists, if you really want my truth. And we still couldn't find a boy that was laying in a field 1,500 yards away from his car. That's why That's why they want to bring the dogs in. It's because people make mistakes. And even when no mistakes are made, things are missed. They can execute everything perfectly and still miss something. Why? Because it's called a human element, that we all are. We are the element. We make mistakes. I hate to burst your bubble. I know it's a sad Monday already, right? I'm a sinner and I'm not perfect. Dad, burn it. Thanks, Betty. So News Nation, I keep going back to that timeline, praying to God, News Nation will update the timeline that they produced out there to the public, being one of the most notable news organizations. And they've got a horrible timeline that's filled with a whole bunch of wrong information. I've been up here for a week saying that timeline is wrong. There's several, literally several glaring things that are just absolutely false in that article. And I don't understand why they're not picking it up. So there was there was a dog handler named Stephanie that obviously was a basket case. And she was really crying. That's why I had to do her interview when we were going over the handlers. That's why I did her interview first, is because, to be honest with you, I couldn't handle all the crying. It took me literally, throughout that whole entire J is for Justice, and I remember hearing her just going off and crying, and I'm like, is this chick for real? And I'm just sitting here, but, you can't be rude, but, you never know what people are going through. I try to be nice, but I gotta tell you, in the back of my head, I was saying, this freaking lady's nuts, And then when I found out she was really literally nuts, and I'm like, I should have just said it. But if I would have said it, I would have been like, yeah, this chick needs to chill. She needs to be on some medication. She's way too upset for, and I thought it was, that they spent maybe their last bit of savings on flying the dogs over. Maybe that's why she was so upset. But apparently not. She's just special. Stephanie is just a little special here on social media. Oh my gosh, I couldn't handle it. But the good news is Julia's legit. Julia's like G.I. Jane. She's just balls to the walls, cool ass chick. And she still was denied access. And she's got some military grade trained dogs. Department of Defense trained dogs. Her dog Gator, she talks about being her prized possession. She was cleared by TBI and reached out to Chris and Katie, and Chris and Katie wouldn't allow her to come there to search, even with the credentialing, the massive amount of credentialing she had. We noticed the breakdown of communication that I started talking about at the beginning of this live with the Proudfoots and the Rogers side of the family. And of course, Tony Mathis came in to kind of try to really, get the families working together as one unit. I was hopeful, but I really didn't believe Chris and Katie would, because we know so much. We have this feeling. We know something's not right. We feel like something bad happened to their child while he was in their care. And they're exhibiting all of the stresses and behaviors that we know that are accustomed to parents that are guilty of something. I'm not saying that they're guilty of harming this child, premeditate or anything, but they're definitely exhibiting, oh, Justin for all, it's nice to see you, my love. Good morning. Good morning. It's nice to see you. But they're definitely exhibiting behaviors and stuff that we kind of really do, equate to somebody of guilt, of guilty knowledge, of some type of guilty behavior or guilt. They're guilt-ridden. People that don't have guilt don't run away from problems. So this case, and I know some people had brought up to me, maybe they thought that this wasn't going to get this big, that this was just an autistic. Think about their mentality. This whole family thought this child was disposable. They did, you talk, somebody's talking to them to describe the behaviors of Sebastian, and even the in-laws are describing him, well, his attention span's about as much as however many squirrels are in the room. he was not, people, and even like with Robin Rogers and what she thinks Sebastian told her, some of that was outburst, because if you heard how Sebastian communicates, which I took the time to listen, and I did find a video where I could hear his voice, you can absolutely tell that there is something not right with Sebastian, just in his speech pattern, just in how he formulates words, just in how he speaks to people. It is very noticeable, how he talks. It's definitely not a 15-year-old boy. And so that is noticeable. I don't know how everybody's thinking that this kid is I think in people's minds that don't understand still believe that this is like a normal functioning kid. Like, he's not. This kid, I don't think, can take care of himself out in the wild, much less formulate this elusive plan to escape from his home. High-functioning autistic, I'm sure he is. I'm sure he's smart but you guys have to understand, he still has limitations. Massive limitations. So I don't really know. I just feel that there's something that's not sitting easy, and we all feel that. And we have we've seen this public breakdown of the family. Nancy Grace, I think she did help, but she didn't. I truly believe things happen for a reason. In the grand scheme of things, I think everything happens for a reason. Everything kind of lays out the way it needs to lay out. I truly believe that those allegations needed to come out. I know it kind of went in direct conflict with what Tony was trying to do, but I do believe that, one, I think he needed to get it off his chest, first and foremost. I think it was probably weighting Seth down, wondering. and two, it brought a point in their first interview to light, and it's basically when she talks about how he went, Sebastian went to bed at 9 o'clock. And I pointed that out from the very beginning. So I just thought that was odd that he had brought up the pharmacy, the prescription medication. And I was talking about how it seems like she has problems putting him down to bed based upon that first interview, and have maintained that since literally the minute I heard it. So we heard about that, and then we also heard about, the Seth statements, which shouldn't have come out but did. The polygraph results. Now we can confidently say to the entire world that there has been only one person in this family that has been corroborated to have taken a polygraph test and has passed a polygraph test. And the only person that we can corroborate for this show is Seth Rogers. That is the only person that we've been able to confirm from a reliable source that he did in fact take his polygraph test, and he did in fact pass his polygraph test. So I don't know about Chris. I don't know about Katie. All I know is if they've taken them, law enforcement is not coming out to tell the public that they took them or passed, or that they're not under suspicion or anything like that. Law enforcement's not helping them. I truly believe if law enforcement believed that these parents had nothing to do with this, they would come public. They would come public just like J.D. Huff did for Brandy and Tyler. They would come up here and say, this is taking a new, J.D. did not jeopardize the integrity of his investigation for us to get off Brandy and Tyler. I wasn't even on Brandy and Tyler. When I started feeling like there was a possibility that that people were telling me that they were acting weird and stuff like that, I looked into it. I even brought it up here and talked to some people on this channel saying, hey, you were out there, you physically saw their behavior. What do you think? And of course, in anything like this, their behavior is never going to be the same. But I did take the time and go, when I started feeling like this might go toward Brandy and Tyler, I didn't want to think about it first and foremost. But before I did that, I'm going out there and looking Mama eyeball to eyeball to see if she had anything to do with this. And as scared as Mama was, she still met with me, right? She still met with me. She sat down with me. I met with people in the neighborhood before I ever met with her. I had talked to people that had no idea who this lady was, but saw her out there searching for her son. I spoke to the person that was flying the drone searching for her son that very day. He had a $20,000 drone that was shot out of the sky. And I spoke to him. So I had done my due diligence on Brandy, and it was very hard for me to believe that she had done something, but, people were starting to turn that way that she had. And so, you know what I did? I partnered with somebody, and we split costs. We went out there. Not only did we go out there to find out the truth, we went out there to post flyers, put up a banner, and do our part in the community and for Michael Monkey Vaughn. And that's exactly what we did. But I tell you what, I never believed Brandy had anything to do with it, and she solidified that when she met with me and sat down with me and talked to me. So, people keep saying that I just go and wield these things and throw parents under the bus because it's good for clicks and views. Well, you know what? If that was the case, explain Brandy and Michael Monkey Vaughn's case. Because I was never on the bandwagon on that one. I was never on the bandwagon with that one. But we see the behaviors of parents. Brandy, it would not surprise me right now to hear that Brandy is still out, even after everything she's learned, updating flyers and reposting, aged flyers on those poles. It wouldn't surprise me if to this day that she still does stuff like that. And we can't even get frickin', Twiddledee and Twiddledum out of their camper to even post one of them. Meanwhile, 3 years later, Brandy Neal is still replacing flyers on her posts. Explain that to me. Big differences in parents. Big differences. And this is what we see all over. It sounds like Tony Mathis has a new account on TikTok, and it sounds like he's going to be going live from that. Let me get it pulled up on my phone real quick so I can tell you what it is. Where is it? There it is. So it looks like on TikTok, if you guys are TikTok people, at Sebastian's with an S Army. It's all one word. At Sebastian's Army, the number 15, the number 15. At Sebastian's Army 15. Apparently, that is going to be the channel that Tony starts going live on. And I wanted to make sure that you guys all had that information because you guys are as invested in this case as I am. Good morning, Hurley. It's nice to see you. So that's at Sebastian's Army 15, at Sebastian's Army 15. Go over there and help Tony get that up because that, like I said, is going to be where that is coming from. What else do we have? Katie bites her tongue. You guys have all seen that. And then, of course, I've talked about Seth's mom. I'm not going to go into the stuff with Seth's mom anymore. I think Robin is a grieving grandmother. I'm not really paying attention to anything that she's got really going on or has to say. I'm taking it as this is the way she's venting and getting her own frustration out because she's kind of all up and down, all up and down, all up and down, all up and down. And I can't even imagine, being a grandmother, an elderly lady, plus missing a son, that you barely ever saw to begin with, that you think about it. She was probably one of the people that least saw him. If she got maybe a weekend or an extended week, in an entire year, she's lucky. In an entire year, she was one of the people that had the absolute least amount of contact with this boy. And for people to come under her and just beat her up publicly this way is disgusting. I think it's absolutely disgusting. It's coming from a small sector of people that obviously are butthurt. I would suggest them remove the stick out of their butt and show some common courtesy to a grandmother that is missing her grandson and literally had nothing to do with this case and actually flew in to search for their grandson and got their ass out there in the woods to search for him. So whoever's peddling this nonsense about Robin or putting her under the microscope or condemning her, shame on you. And I mean that. Because the person that's doing this has a lot of subscribers and says he cares about these cases. Meanwhile, him and his girlfriend are up here spreading this nonsense. They don't know what was said to that lady. nor have they asked being investigative journalists. So I just want to make sure that that is ultra, ultra clear. There have been no updates on Sebastian Rogers from law enforcement. Chris is obviously, it sounds like he's finally taking a breather. I haven't heard from him in a couple days since the separation, since the public separation. I honestly believe that was the best thing that Seth and his spokesperson could have done is the separation. Because in all fairness, all the chaos is coming from one sector of the family. All the problems are coming from one sector of the family. And by removing that, I truly do believe that they will be able to, get their stuff on. Hold on a second. We got a call coming in. This is Betty.
Betty, this is Doug from Tennessee.
Well, hello. How are you?
I'm doing fine.
Okay. Fill me in.
I believe everybody in that family dropped the ball on this child.
Yeah,
Grandma
but I
knows
absolutely agree with that. But to come and literally beat up grandma that lives literally thousands of miles away and literally has the least amount of contact with her grandson, that's who they're going to target? That pisses me off.
Yeah, but all of them knew child abuse was going on. The neighbors knew it. The neighbors called in.
I don't believe the neighbors called in. We've seen not one scintilla of evidence that any neighbor has called in any abuse allegations on these on Sebastian. I have seen nothing.
But you see a kid being sprayed with a water hose or with a pressure washer.
I've never heard, up until that, we've never been able to corroborate that person's statement. And I've got people on the grounds working to do that.
But I just believe they all failed this little fella. Yeah. And I got a feeling some neighbor seen the child abuse going on and rescued that poor little boy.
I wish that was the case. Because if they were to rescue him, why didn't they call the law enforcement? Why haven't they turned him over to law enforcement yet?
Law enforcement up there ain't worth the shit. It's like it is in my county.
What's so funny is everybody is saying that. Literally everybody. Everybody I talk to that's from Tennessee, they do not have positive things to say about their law enforcement. I can tell you I don't.
I tell you right now, I growed up, we had a sheriff in our county that owned a car lot. And the man has got 3 farms in 3 different states now. Mm-hmm. Over 100-acre farms. And he only had a car lot when he became sheriff.
Yeah,
how do you do that?
Yeah, that's sniffing a little corruption there.
That small town ain't worth a crap.
Yeah.
That's exactly what that is. And Hendersonville ain't no better.
That's what I'm hearing. That's what's making everybody so concerned. That's why I'm starting to people are going to be starting to apply pressure to law enforcement. It sounds like they're going to have phone campaigns today to the DA's office. They're going to start using some activism and advocacy to get some stuff done. But they're about to start applying some major pressure to law enforcement.
Well, I used to go. This ain't no. I regret doing it. I used to go to chicken packs. Mm-hmm. We paid the sheriff $1,500 a month to leave us alone, and he took it. Mm-hmm. Then he comes back. He wants $1,500 a week. Mm-hmm. But they videotaped him, and he never came back again.
Yeah, it's the underbelly of society. People don't realize, when I talk about politics, it's an ugly world. I can tell you that personally. I've seen my fair share.
You got money, you can get away with anything.
Yeah, I don't have money, but I have a mouth, and I can make politicians' life a living hell.
But see, here's me. I don't care what you think about me. Don't care what you say about me. I do what I want, when I want, and how I want to do it.
Amen. That's me all day long.
But I just believe that a lot of people dropped the ball on this little fella. Yeah. And that CA was going on. It could be on both all around. That might be what Chris has got on Seth. Mm-hmm. CA. They all got it on each other, and they all were worried about telling on each other.
Oh yeah.
I ain't never seen like a bunch of kids in my life. These supposed to be adults.
You know what? You're talking about your county, and that sounds like the Hot Mess Express here on YouTube.
Yeah. But I mean, he did this. He did that. We working together. We ain't working together.
Yeah.
You beat my son. You whooped my son.
Mm-hmm.
And you're the stepfather. I'm in jail. I'm sorry, darling.
That's why I said I thought Seth is handling himself very, very well, because I don't know if I could deal with Chris's behavior with the calmness Seth is, because I when I'm angry or I'm hurt or I'm scared, I start screaming.
Yeah. Well, my child was missing, and you standing next to my truck talking to me down.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, my hood liable to fall down.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's bad.
And I found it funny that it was, because Chris was the one talking about Sebastian encroaching personal space, and then we caught that photo of him at the vigil looking like he was screaming at Seth, and he's all up in Seth's personal space, the very thing that he says that Sebastian doesn't understand.
Yeah. It's like calling the kettle black.
Yep.
You doing the same thing.
Yep.
I got a feeling when it all comes down, we're all going to be surprised, and a bunch of people are liable to go to jail for it.
Yeah, I think I know who the stars of the show are.
I think there's more than just the three individuals.
Yeah. I hope they don't make it wait that long. But you know what? I'm hearing rumblings in the Summer Wells case. I've been hearing them for the last couple weeks. I don't know what they mean, but I'm just sitting here and praying that it's going to be something good.
Okay, now why can't they do the same thing to Candace and Don as they doing to that dude up there in the Idaho 4 case, and they doing with a guy supposed to kill them little kids? Put their damn ass in jail and don't let them out.
In every other state,
with no evidence.
Yeah, that in most states, that's kind of they do have evidence. They know how to build the evidence to create the probable cause that they need to put them in jail, and that's where the disconnect is in Tennessee. It seems like they don't have the laws written in a way that they can do stuff with like the rest of the country. I don't get it. It's either they don't understand how to do law in Tennessee, or the Tennessee law is so messed up that they have no way of working within it. It's one of the two things.
I walk my kid in the house and I go check on her and she's gone.
Yeah.
Well, you're going to jail until you tell me where she went.
Yeah.
Both of you. And put you in there like they did Brian Kohlberger and that other guy, and throw the key away and and then look like you're a little scrawny skeleton while you're in there.
Yeah, but Doug, here, listen to this. With the Summer Wells case, look at their house, look at their environment. They were living in squalor. They were living in filth. They were living in what people, like, if my sheriff had gone into their house, both of those parents would be in jail. If they had children living in that condition, and they were in Florida, they would be in jail. And why they still have not been taken to jail on any of those neglect and endangerment charges is beyond me. There's no excuse for that. But Tennessee has refused to charge them. That's the state of Tennessee. That's their choice.
Yeah, but it's just small town justice.
Yeah, well, the wheels of justice are going to keep...
Small town justice. What if Don and Candace know something on the sheriff?
Yeah.
Or something like that. That he can't say a word.
Well, I think there's something that's going on behind the scenes that have put the sheriff in hot water for some reason. There's just some things that I was enlightened on, and it doesn't make sense, and there's only one way it makes sense, and the only way it makes sense to me is if, he's got himself in his own hot water, so I don't know.
He might have been in on the sale.
I don't know. It's crazy out there. I can tell you that. It's amazing how many politicians go to jail in Hopkins County. I can tell you that. I'm sorry. I looked into it.
We had one up here that went to jail, and he died in jail.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, wow,
So
wow.
they was 4 people, and 3 turned on 1.
Wow.
They stuck him in jail, and he ended up dying in jail.
Oh, wow. All right, Doug. Well, I got to run, and I got to get back to my show, but I thank you for calling in and enlightening us with your information. Thank you. I love hearing from you.
You have a wonderful weekend.
You too, Doug. Take care. Bye-bye. Bye. Oh, that was sweet. That was sweet. So, that's kind of where we are. And, of course, we have the dog searchers, Chris threatening everything. And I think it was the threats from Chris. I think that kind of did it in. When Chris threatened Chloe and called her those horrible names, and it's basically threatened to make sure that Seth would never speak again. I understand that Chris did not realize this conversation was being recorded. I don't believe that Heather did anything wrong. I've checked out the laws. The one thing I like about Tennessee is it's a one part. It's not like Florida. You have to have all parties on a conversation, on a telephone conversation, to agree in order to record it. And if you record it without their knowledge, it's a felony here in the state of Florida. But in Tennessee, you only have to have a one-party consent law. And so that basically means if you're on the call, so you can't be eavesdropping on the call and be able to consent to the recording. But if you're one of the people that are on the call in a one-party state, you can consent yourself to record the conversation. So that's the way it is. Here in Florida, you can't. If everybody on that phone does not agree to record, you are committing a felony here in the state of Florida. So much different. So in my opinion, Heather didn't do anything wrong. She didn't do anything unlawful, in my opinion, in the recording. And it sounds to me that he called her. It doesn't sound like she reached out to him. So, if that's the case, he did this to himself. Whether he was recorded or not, I could care less. It was his behavior. Who in the hell speaks to somebody like that? Who thinks it's okay to have a missing child and then be threatening and intimidating? Like, how stupid can you freaking be? I think you have more than just a learning disability, Chris Proudfoot, because you are slap-artard. And then from my book, you're one of those cats too. Meow. Come get you some, babe. Just saying. All those things you said to Sebastian, I'd like to have a conversation with you. Sure would. Sure would. Because from where I stand, everything that you called Sebastian, I'm looking right at. And trust me, it is not Sebastian I'm staring at. Just saying. I've got some new news that was breaking yesterday afternoon. It sounds good. I know a lot of us have been very concerned related to the CPS calls, right? What is going on with CPS? First of all, why was Seth not informed? That is the first and foremost I have a problem with. Nice to see you, V. Nice to see you. Kira, nice to see you. I don't think I said hi to you, Gigi. Did I say hi to you this morning? Good morning, Gigi. So it was brought up that there was a Department of Children and Family Services involved because of a belt incident. This happened on Smiley's World. We all kind of know, for those people that are joining this case, you may not know. Chris admitted to hitting Sebastian with a belt and that he was an embarrassed 15-year-old boy and got in trouble by the Department of Children and Family Services for reporting a falsehood, is basically what Chris told us. Then we learned, wait a minute, it's not a belt incident. The belt incident happened years ago, again coming from Chris Proudfoot, him acknowledging this. This is not something that I'm making up in the least bit, and if I'm off just a tiny bit, I am Team Summer. Good morning, my love. If I'm off just a tiny bit, please correct me. But it was told to us by Chris that belt incident happened years ago. That this new incident was basically something that Sebastian told his teacher. It was the teacher that called into the Department of Children and Family Services not the neighbor. Not the neighbor. I don't know who is peddling this nonsense that the neighbor has called in the department to the Department of Children and Family Services when we have no reports from this person, no proof that he made the call, and we have corroborated information that a teacher made the call. So again, people are saying that the neighbors called in, and no. Show me the proof. Show me the receipts. Please. Because I think when you have to produce the receipts, you'll realize that statement is hogwash. It was not the neighbors. I've had people out there trying to get neighbors' cooperation. There's no neighbor cooperation out there. We've been able to corroborate out of that whole entire neighbor statement. I've been able to corroborate that Chris did in fact call regularly Sebastian despicable names in public, out in the front yard, neighbors heard. We definitely have been able to corroborate that. And that's been corroborated by multiple sources. So we definitely know he was being verbally abusive to this kid. Period. But I'm a stickler for details, and if I truly believe something happened, I will roll with it. I have not been able to corroborate that Chris Proudfoot was at the Texas Roadhouse 2 weeks before. I have not been able to talk to the person that served them. I have not been able to confirm that they stormed out of there. I have not been able to confirm any of that. Terry Lynn went up to the neighbors. Neighbors are not really wanting to talk. But definitely, I truly believe, if they honestly believe this child was being sprayed down with pressure washers and made to sleep on mattresses in the garage, and they saw it, I have to think the good heart of one of those neighbors would have actually picked up the phone and called it in. I'm not hearing that on my end. I'm sorry. And I know that other people are hearing that. All I'm asking for is legitimate proof that it happened so I can say it out of my mouth. And that's the problem I'm having, is nobody's giving me the receipts. They're saying it. Well, I can say that the sky is purple. And it was during the Northern Lights. But it ain't purple right now. I can literally say whatever the hell I want to say here. And what are we doing? Just supposed to believe it? I mean, I could literally say my neighbor is, making rat stew. You want some? I mean, come on. This is somebody speaking on a show that we don't see their face. We don't see their body language. We see nothing. We hear them. They tell us a wild tale, and we're all hook, line, and sinker, and no receipts. We just, he said it. When has that ever been okay for us? I don't like Chris and I don't like Katie, but I'm definitely not attaching anything to them that I can't corroborate. This is the true. I take pride in our true crime genre. I take pride that we fact check better than anybody. I take pride in the fact that we get to information and release information long before mainstream media does. I take pride in that. But this, I mean, I would have to think if this boy is sleeping in a mattress, on a mattress in the garage floor, which could be true. I'm not saying it's not. What I'm saying is, what proof do we have? These are some major allegations, and I guarantee you, if you were facing these types of allegations, you would definitely want to see some receipts. I don't like Chris and Katie, and I would like to see them, if they've done anything to this child, I would like them to see them pay the cost for that, take responsibility for that. But I'm not willing to attach anything to them that I can't corroborate. Let me see, maybe Justin, I see Justin in here. Let me see, because Justin, I know he keeps a good handle on this. I don't know if he's corroborated. I haven't even had a chance to talk to him. I'm wondering if Robin told the teacher reported it. I think Robin may have reached out to the teacher. I don't like speculating. It's possible, but I really don't. You know what I think happened? Because the way Sebastian formulates his words, I think he told her that Chris is being mean to him. Like, he doesn't use our words. He doesn't formulate or express himself the way we think. He didn't go up to her and say, hey, Chris is knocking the crap out of me. That's what I'm trying to say. That's not the conversation he had with Robin. It would never have gone that way. You're talking about talking to a 3-year-old child. You're talking to a child that uses different type, smaller words to express themselves. I don't know what he told Robin. Robin hasn't told the world what he told her. It may be that Chris shoved him. While it was abusive, does it rise to the level of having to call, the Department of Children and Family Services and turning their whole family upside down? You got to think, from a grandmother that barely spends any time with her grandchild, sticking her nose that far out and causing this much disruption may end her ability to be ever able to see her grandson again. And nobody's taking that into consideration. Not one person. I just want people to see a different side. I really do. He told one interview that he hit Sebastian with a belt for not wearing a belt. Another interview that hit Sebastian with the belt for lying. Yeah. They don't tell the truth. That's why I really believe something happened, because people don't need to change their story as much as Chris and Katie have changed their story to this point. And it's forever changing. We can't even keep, like, I've been sitting here for weeks trying to get a decent timeline. Literally weeks. We can't even get a decent timeline. This is like the most, it's messed up. And law enforcement isn't making any of us feel any more comfortable either. If it was that neighbor, I would have quickly asked CP who he was calling names like that. Exactly. Like, when have any of us had a problem hollering across, like, dude, why are you talking to that kid like that? I remember the house that's across, I have a brand new house across the street from me. It was built and a lovely family is living in it. But before that, there was a house there that was literally caving in. And the neighborhood kids thought it was interesting. I remember being that neighborhood kid too. I get it. But, now I'm older, so I've got to be, one of them now too, okay? We all have our roles in this world, okay? Once upon a time, I was in their role, okay? And then somebody that's in my role now screamed at me. So it's only right to keep perpetuating the cycle, right? So I see these kids going in there, and I got to be the old lady with the rollers in my hair going out there saying, you guys shouldn't be over there. You guys need to get out of that house. No, you guys can't do that. Yeah, I became one of them. Mm-hmm. Sure did with a quickness. Yes. I played the part well. Thank you. I did. And then this little boy, woohoo! Little boy cocks his head back. You can't tell me what to do. Let me tell you something, little boy. If you don't get your ass off that property in 5 minutes, I'm going to pull you out there by your ear, and you can go run down there and tell your mommy to come here to 5822 2nd Street West, and me and mommy will have a conversation. Went straight there. Long story short, the kids left the house. They didn't get injured. And I immediately called the county and started working with my neighbors to call the county to say, this house is becoming a danger, right? So we had to have the house tore down at the county expense. But it was, I saw those little kids, and I know it's like a jungle gym in there, and it's probably a very fun exploring, an abandoned house and all the trash and the cave. It's probably creepy. Us kids, we love creep, right? We love creepy. But of course, me, now that I'm old, I gotta be old. And so I worry about things like kids getting hurt, right? And I don't want to be calling 911 because a kid's got, a freaking nail in their eye. It would kind of hurt my heart if I didn't scream at them, okay? And something happened. So I became one of them. So don't laugh at me, okay? I'm getting old. I got glasses now and all that other crap. And gray hair. Don't forget, we're really trying out this gray hair. We're going to see how bad is Betty's hair. It's almost there, though. We were getting there. Look at that. We're almost growed out. I mean, we got a little, probably when it gets to, I don't know, when my hair color comes out to about here, I'm probably cutting all the blonde off. It's going to be short hair, but I'm ready to see. We should put a bet on it. I think we should bet, like, how long am I going to be able to last with my authentic hair color once I get all the blonde out of it? How long is what is the bet? How long's Betty gonna live without blonde hair before she literally runs after a year of waiting to grow my hair out to see what my hair looks like? I have not seen my natural hair on my head in over 20 years. So it's kind of something I want to do for myself. I don't know if I'll like it, but I don't know. I think we need to have a bet because I have a funny feeling I'm going to end up getting all the blonde out of my hair and I'm going to want it back in. I don't know why. This is the longest color I've had in my hair. I've been every color but blonde for like ever. 1 month, Betty. Nice. We need a poll. So Mama Llama's already thrown her hands in 1 month. Yeah, we do need a poll. Maybe we'll do a poll on my community tab. Can we? I think we can do polls on community tab. Gazelle, Kate and Kate don't owe us anything, including receipts. It's none of our business. Okay, well then why are you even in the true crime community? Like, why are you here? If you think it's none of our business, then why are you literally on true crime channels trying to find out stuff that's not your business, if that's truly how you feel? I mean, I'm just asking for a few friends. This is Betty.
Hey, Betty.
Hey, who's this and where are you calling from?
Florida.
Well, hello. How are you?
Good. I agree with the last caller. And I agree with you. If this was to happen here in Florida, Grady don't play that.
Mm-mm.
Um,
Grady of all people. I mean, you got to treat your kids good here in the state of Florida.
Right. I mean, everywhere. It don't matter where you're at, you know?
Apparently Tennessee has this unwritten rule that you can just treat your kids like anything there. You get away with everything in Tennessee.
Yeah, it's the water. But anyways, I just wanted to tell you, keep up the good work. I want you to fight for Sebastian. I want you to do for Sebastian what you did for Summer. Mm-hmm. You know, I watched all of you go into the sheriff's department. I watched y'all do that with Summer's case.
Yeah. Well, I was planning on doing that with this case too. I was planning on turning this case up, turning some heat up on this case, but it's just God has other plans for me right now. Trust me, I've been praying.
Right?
I don't know why, but I mean, I feel like I'm on house arrest. Like I'm I don't know. I don't know.
The only true fact in this case is that Katie was the last one to see Sebastian.
Yes.
Now, if you look at her interview, she said she went in the room to get him up and he was gone. But then she said she went in there to wake him up to go to school. Mm-hmm. Did you ever catch that?
Yeah, the way she speaks, but you know what? I speak publicly, like literally all day, every day, and I can't imagine how many times I'm thinking one thing, but something else falls out of my mouth, and I don't even hear it until I go back to review the live. And I'm like even with this Seth and Sebastian, I interchange there. I notice how many times I've interchanged Chris's name with Seth's name throughout my lives. It's so, I mean, I know a lot of people worry about, but sometimes it is just a misspeak, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But, it very well may have been just a mistake. Maybe she said it one way and said it another way. I mean, I honestly don't know, but I just know there's something fishy with both of them. That's what I know.
I've seen in another chat that Katie doesn't drive a light blue or baby blue vehicle. She drives a silver or gray.
Well, it's kind of like a silver with like a blue hue type. It's not quite a silver. It does have a blue hue to it. So in certain reflective, it's a little lighter, and other reflective, it's a little darker. So I did see that she does have like a metallic type of paint job on the car. So it doesn't give you the same exact color each angle. It's slightly different.
And Robin Rogers is used to be a nurse.
I'm hearing she was like a nurse practitioner or something, but I haven't been able to corroborate. I'm sure that they're right. There's been enough people that said that I'm confident that she probably is some some type of nurse.
Well, that makes her mandated.
Well, mandated for abuse. Again, it comes down to the language he used. I think people are saying, I think people think that this child went to her and said that Chris is knocking, like, I don't know if he could formulate his words to say that correctly. I think she said something to him that made her feel uncomfortable, but I don't know if it rose to the level of her thinking that her child was, or her grandson was being physically abused. You see what I'm saying? I think she's saying abuse, but I think she's meaning abusive actions or language. I don't think Sebastian told her specifically that Chris is beating him up, abusing him that way. So, and the way he's expressing himself, I don't know if she understood to the gravity he was saying either. I'm sure if she truly thought her grandson was being injured and something would happen. I doubt this lady would have kept that a secret. I think that what she was told was something different than I think if we heard what was said to her, I think we would understand a little bit better. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying she's right or wrong. I'm just saying that we don't know what was said to make the determination. Did she do everything she could have? That's what I'm implying.
I don't think she did. And I did watch Nina's story. It was so sad. I was sitting here, I was crying, and Chris is a POS. Oh my God, I can't believe the things that his family and him did to Nina.
Not just did to Nina, but look how his family's acting since Sebastian's left. Nobody in his family, not one person in Katie's immediate family has bothered helping search for Sebastian. Not one person. Not an aunt, not an uncle, not a step-grandparent, nobody's helped.
Okay, well, I just wanted to express some feelings. I don't want you to give up on Sebastian. I do want you to try to fight, because somebody's got to get him. Yeah. I know there's boots on the ground. I'm watching them.
Yeah, we have about 12 or 13 searchers, maybe more out there right now, almost on a daily. So the searches haven't stopped. The private searches haven't stopped, which is a good thing.
All right. I wish Chris would come up on your panel.
I do too. I do have some questions. I mean, it would be ultra respectful. I'm not, I have my own opinion. I think my opinion has been expressed. At this point, I don't need to express it to them. I think they know how I feel. I just want information. I want some timeline. I want some help filling out the timeline, because if they had nothing to do with this, then I want to have a good timeline so I can focus on the areas that need to be focused on. Again, if they had nothing to do with this. I'm here to find Sebastian. So they're either willing to help or they're not. And that's a choice that Chris and Katie need to make. But I'm definitely here. My conversations with them are going to be fact-driven. They're not going to be opinion or personally based, because I'm looking for a child that they're unwilling to look for.
Right. Okay, well, have a good day, Betty.
Bless you. Thank you for calling in. I love having Florida people calling in, because you're like family. And you're one of my neighbors, so it's nice to see you.
Yeah, Winter Haven.
Oh, I love it. I've got family in Winter Haven. So you guys, God bless you. Yeah, it's small, but it's quaint. It's quaint.
Yeah.
So, well, God bless you.
You too. Bye.
Bye-bye. I have an aunt. Well, I call her an aunt. She's my aunt's best friend. She's been an aunt in my life my whole life. She's one of those aunts. They're not really like blood related, but they've been around you so long. One of those aunts that changed your diapers when they didn't have to. she's one of them. Anyways, she lives out there, and she's still my aunt's best friend, and it was sad. She lost a child as well in a car wreck. He was becoming one of the golf stars out there in the area, and he was on I-4, and he drowned in about 2 inches of water. It was sad. His name was Joey Napick. Joey Napick. So God bless him. God bless him. I wish Chris would explain his scratches and bite marks. Yeah, that's one of the questions I'm going to have, because, you know, one of the answers he responded is that the Morkies scratched him. So I took the photo and I kind of measured between the scratches, and between the first scratch and the last scratch, it was too wide. Even if their paws were out like this when they scratched him, it was still too, because the Morkie paws are just itty bitty little things. I mean, they're just tiny little things, you know? And so it looks like the scratches are a little wider than their paws could produce. That's one of the first things that I noticed. But, you know, again, I'm not there. You know, we're all assuming that those are bite marks and scratches and stuff like that. Well, you know, if he wasn't there and Katie was the only one there, you know, we'd have to have reasonable deduction that maybe he didn't get those scratches from Sebastian. I mean, if we were going to look at this factually. But I don't believe that. I believe those scratches are there from either moving or, you know, doing something, because he's a tower crane operator. What is he around to get scratched up on? He's in a freaking box that's completely secure. And he has a little, like, game control in his hand. So no need to get scratched up. There's nothing that he could possibly get scratched up at work. It's not like he's out there, you know, putting roofs on or having to tear drywall out or stuff that, you know, and you when you're pulling and trying to get stuff off, you have a tendency of, you know, hitting stuff and scratching yourself up. He's not in that kind of construction. He's sitting in a big piece of equipment. Probably listening to rock and roll back there. Got his piece, you know, his walkie-talkie in one ear, his phone in the other ear, probably rocking out to some AC/DC while he's sitting there, you know, doing his tower crane operation, right? Probably an AC. They probably got AC in those boxes. He's probably in a very comfortable environment. Not one that produces a whole bunch of scratches and contusions and abrasions. Just saying. Sebastian is ours the day they lost him. 100%. Yeah, I think we've all just and you know what's so sad, though? is I truly believe Chris honestly thought that everybody looked at this child the way he looked at this child. I think Chris honestly believed that we, as a community, wouldn't even give this kid the time of the day because he was different than the rest of us, that he had been, you know, abused as a young kid, and somehow we were going to look bad upon a victim of a crime when they were a child. Like, this is the sick way that Chris thinks, that because this child was abused in that way, which, let's face it, many of us that are here, that are activists and advocates, have been assaulted in a very unpleasant way, such as that. You know, and for many of us to turn around and blame this child for something that we had to endure, that we had to go through ourselves, and we've got, you know, a normal functioning body and a normal functioning brain, and how completely horrible that experience was, and how it changed out the direction of our personal lives. And then we find out this happened to a child that didn't understand what was going on with him, that didn't understand the true gravity of what took place to his poor little body, and that we were going to come here and somehow punish this boy because of it. That's what his family and his friends, or his family, the Proudfoot side of the family, honestly believed. That's how disgusting they thought we, as a true crime community, was. We're not them. We absolutely believe that Sebastian deserves all the promises and all the fun and everything that this world has to offer. He deserves to be here. He deserves to be happy. He deserves to be going fishing with his dad. He deserves that. And for these two people to think so poorly of this community, to think that we are that heartless, that we are them, is disgusting. We are not them. This child means a lot to us. If he didn't mean the world to them, well, he definitely means the world to us. And our memories, our minds are a million miles long. And we will never forget. We will never forget. I don't like Chris Proudfoot. I don't like Chris Proudfoot not because he's got a missing child. I don't like Chris Proudfoot because he hurts children and he hurts women. He's abusive. He's abusive in his words. He's abusive mentally. He's abusive physically. I don't like Chris Proudfoot. Katie Proudfoot is a disgusting individual because she stood around and allowed this to happen. I truly believe something happened inside that home, and I truly believe that woman knows what happened. This child went in. Prove to me that this child came out. That's all I want. Just let me see a shadow on a video that displays a white stripe going down somebody's leg. And I'm good. Because they're wanting us to believe this child walked. You cannot tell me that this child missed every single store camera, every single glimmer of light that shined down from the moon, the stars, and whatever light came from people's own porch lights and stuff like that. We're supposed to believe that he was literally a ghost and floated over top of those views. I have cameras. I know what it looks like at night. I know what it looks like at night seeing somebody walk down the road in the complete dark. You're right. You can't make out a damn thing. But you know what you do see? You see a figure. You see something moving. You may not be able to see what it is. You may not be able to make it out. You may not be able to tell whether it's a human or a dog or a werewolf or Sasquatch. But you definitely see movement in the dark on the camera. So, where's the movement? Where's the shadow? Where is it? I have no earthly idea. Did I see Turkey Man up in the house? Nice to see you, Turkey Man. I see Karen says call in. Why don't you call in and pray for us? Pray for this family. Pray for Seth. Pray for Tony. I think Tony and the team needs more prayer than just about anybody because they've taken a lot of blows for Seth. Seth's taken a lot of blows as well. It's sad. It's sad. But we did find out that Seth does have an attorney now. That it sounds like he's going to be able to now finally get access to those CPS reports that he was not told about. I still can't figure out how in the world CPS never notified the biological father that also has custody of this child. How does the Department of Children and Family Services not inform the father? I have a lot of questions in Tennessee. Every case, every time, it gets a little worse. It gets a little worse. We hear this, we hear that. How many mistakes are we going to constantly have to be dealing with in the state of Tennessee? And I feel bad for their employees. You can't tell. Listen, when I call things out, I'm not calling out the worker bees. I want to make sure that's clear. When I talk about these things, when I talk about like Sumner County and the crap work, I'm not talking about their hard-working labor people out there doing their job. I'm talking about top brass, the one giving them the orders, the ones with the thumb up their butts. That's who I'm talking about. When I'm talking about the Department of Children and Family Services in Tennessee, I'm talking about the top brass there. I'm not talking about their underpaid overworked, underappreciated staff. I'm not talking about them at all. I'm talking about the people making the decisions and running the Department of Children and Family Services slap into the ground. That's who I'm talking about. Staff your facilities. These are our children. Nobody likes raised taxes, but you know what I can say to our government? Maybe quits funneling our money over to Pakistan and Iran and every other place that hates the guts out of our people and start putting some of that money toward our own children and their safety. Maybe. Possibly. Plausibly. Allegedly. Maybe try that out for size. Maybe instead of telling us America's broke, maybe quit funneling all of our money someplace else so we can actually do something for our children. That might be a policy we could put in place. I choose our children for 2024. I could give a rat's ass about Iran. I could give a rat's ass about us being in another freaking war. I care about our veterans that are sleeping on the streets, our children that are being abused. I'm upset that we have no places for, like, where are the kids when they're pulled out of Tennessee, out of these crap houses? Where are they going? They don't even have places for them. That's why they're keeping them in these shit homes. They got no place to put them. No place to put them. I'm tired of covering these cases. Everybody thinks I love covering these cases. Nothing upsets me and hurts me in my core more than a child. More than knowing a child was hurt. I'm a sucker for women too, but children and to keep hearing this over and over again, I'm tired. I'm tired. I think that people need to raise their voices. I think that it is time to let law enforcement and to pressure law enforcement, not just Sumner County, TBI, because TBI's hands in all these cases. Let's be honest. All these children cases, TBI's in. Where are the children? That's what I want to know. Where are the children? Nobody can seem to tell us. They just keep disappearing. All right, guys, that's all I got for today. I want you guys to, I was hopeful. Do we have the phone? Is the phones ringing or are they not ringing? I don't know if they're ringing or not ringing, guys, but I was hoping that our beloved Turkey Man. So Turkey Man, I love you. God bless you. Maybe call in tomorrow and pray for us. Tomorrow, guys, I don't know when I'm going to go live tomorrow. I do have some other stuff going on, but I do want to advocate for our children. I do want to advocate for Tennessee. I think, I never want to just ever point my finger and say you're doing it wrong. I always want to use my platform to help. It's not about just pointing the finger at law enforcement and saying, hey, you're not doing this right. It's going in there and saying, hey, you know what? Let me help you do it better. How do we do it better? We get them money. Okay? People, you can't do law enforcement with having good resources. So you need to think about that. Whenever you call 911, you want them showing up for you. Whenever you've got a missing child, you want them pulling out all the stops for you. Can you imagine if you call them for a missing child and they say, well, we have no resources here. I'm sorry. We can't help you search. We can drive the cop car around and holler his name out of it. But yeah, the phones are off. Okay, let me refresh this. Hold on. Let's see if we got it. Yeah, sometimes I have some technical issues when the phones. Can we hear this? Hold on. Sounds like we've got them on. Oh, let me see. You know what? I bet you I do have them off. Hold on a second. Did I click it off? Let me click it off and click it back on. All right. If somebody wants to try to call in, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. We were able to get at least one call in, but it says it's on, and I've got my earpiece in. So I don't know. Let me see if I can call my show. Oh, there it is. Okay. The phones are working. This is Betty.
Hello.
Well, hello there. Can you hear me?
Hi, Betty. How are you? Yes, I can hear you now. How you doing, Betty?
Oh, I'm doing very well. Who's this and where are you calling from?
This is Emilio from Massachusetts. Finally, I made the call.
Oh, Emilio, I've seen you in the chat. God bless you. So what do you think's going on with all of this?
Well, there is a number of things that are very concerning. Number one, I'm not trying to justify the neighbors, but I know a case here in Massachusetts that I personally called 7 or 8 times, and at one time DCF told me, you know what, we cannot do anything. We bring this family to court, and the court continue to let them doing whatever. And at that point, most of the people I wasn't the only one that called. Many people called. And at that point, what happened is everybody said, you know what, if the DCF don't want to do anything, we don't call anymore. We used to call the police, we used to call everybody, and nobody did absolutely nothing. And basically, they were indirectly disencouraged us from calling. And maybe this is a case. Maybe this is a case here. You know, I don't know. I'm not trying to justify them, but maybe neighbors call. And remember, those calls most likely are confidential, and that's why nobody knows who called. And they were not given any attention. And at one point, the neighbor said, "You know what? I'm not calling anymore because nobody wants to do anything." You know.
Wow. Well, thank you for enlightening us, because I've got to say, you know, I didn't know, but you know what? You're probably right. Maybe people did call. I hope Seth gets those documents.
Yeah. Then the other thing I want to tell you, I've been thinking about this for a while, because everybody is thinking that Katie is so innocent. You know, I don't think that she is as innocent and this very quiet woman as she is pretending to show us. This is what I'm thinking. And this, I had other theories, but this is the one that is sticking in my mind now. Remember, there was a hearing coming up for Faith in court.
Yeah.
Remember that every mother, as bad as they could be, they got a little bit of maternal instinct. Maybe she was upset, thinking, you know what, you want to bring this daughter here while he's mistreating my son. I got to do something to stop this. And she tried, this is allegedly, this is only my opinion, she tried to stop, to do something in order that there were a lot of noise, in order that Faith don't be given to him. And everything went out of hand. That's what I've been thinking. And remember that there is this court hearing going around, and I don't like to create conspiracies, but this is one that I'm thinking that maybe she did something to try to stop Faith to come in, to be given to the husband because of the mistreatment of the son, and something went out of hand, and now he is involved because he knows, and this is allegedly, he knows, and now he has to cover for her.
Yeah, well, it's a great theory. I mean, anything's on the table at this point, Emilio. I mean, this case is sad for me. It really is. I feel so bad because I feel like in my heart that this child's hurt.
Exactly. And unfortunately, in my opinion, I don't think he's with us anymore. It has been 70 something days already. No proof of anything. I think he was in the house. He was in some form taken out of the house, either by a car, allegedly by a car, or by the dumpster, the garbage, you know, and that's, there is, but unfortunately, I don't think he is with us anymore. He has been too long, no signs, no evidence that he went walking out of the house, you know, and it is very, very surprising for me, and I've been in law enforcement, and this doesn't smell good.
Well, God bless you, and thank you for your service, you know. But I appreciate your call, and call back in again.
Absolutely. Thank you, very great job.
Thank you, Emilio. God bless.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, guys, the phones are on. I'm sorry for the technical issue. I don't know what does it, what triggers that, but sometimes we get one call in and then it just stops working. Oh, all the technical equipment. I am not a techie person, okay? If you guys are looking for techie, don't come to Betty, okay? Betty knows nothing. If I don't have somebody like literally drawing me a map and saying, hey, this is what you need to do on a computer, I don't know what I'm doing on a computer. But thank you for that. Thank you for calling in. I'm going to leave the phones open for just another few moments. If anybody would like to call in, we're already at an hour and 24 minutes. I'm kind of over everything that I really wanted to cover on this particular live, just the true dysfunction of this case, us trying to tread all of the nonsense that's been going on and going into this case. This case has just been littered with, and it's just been an emotional roller coaster. I mean, I can't, we're all watching it from the outside looking in. Can you imagine being inside of this? This has got to be pretty intense for everybody involved. I can't for the life of me, think otherwise. Like, this has got to be just absolutely chaotic. I can't imagine what Seth must be thinking at this point. I mean, he's given the mother of his child like every opportunity under the sun to come help, and she refuses to, and her husband refuses to. I don't know how any parent could deal with that right now. You just are, they're treading BS right now. They're trying to keep their head above water, and I can't imagine how extremely hard all of this is, and I can't imagine what the family truly is going through. This is Betty.
Yes, Betty, this is Pearl from Tennessee.
Well, hello, Pearl. What do you have to contribute? It's nice to hear from you.
Well, I just found y'all a day or two ago, and I just wanted to make some remarks, and y'all can ponder on it.
Sure.
Granny needs to get her wig back on.
I agree.
Straight. And I think that with Chris's rant, he's only helped Nina, and that's a good thing.
Yeah, I agree.
And Tony, I think since he switched up, this is going to get real. Mm-hmm. And also, I wanted to say that I love your show, and I think that this is my opinion, but they could have buried him in a footer in a concrete. When they dug the footer, then they dug on down and put him in the ground, and then they poured the footer under concrete. And we don't know for sure that she didn't, trade him off there at the bowling alley and went to bowling later in the evening after dinner. Mm-hmm. And also, we don't really know that wasn't the order. Mm-hmm. First, in one, she said she picked up the nieces, and then one, she says that they met up at BJ's. And so I'm kind of confused about that. Did she pick up the nieces and the aunts at their home? Did you pick them up at BJ's or met up with them at BJ's? Mm-hmm. And another thing is, did they check carbon monoxide in that garage? She could have told him, well, we're going back out again, so just stay in the car. And when she got back out there, the car was running, and that child passed away.
Yeah.
And there's no sense from that child.
Yeah, and you know what? One of my mods had brought that almost verbatim up to me. The possibility of, like, if he was staying in the garage, it was really cold. Did he get in the car and turn it on and not realize what he was doing? That, to me, it's possible. We don't even know if I feel like the mattress thing in the garage might be. I'm praying to God it's a red herring, but we really don't know at this point. I'm praying to God it's not true.
Yeah, well, Chris, he's an angry person, yeah. And I don't think he's safe to be around anybody. This is just all of my opinion.
Yeah.
I don't want to say that anybody done anything, but this child needs to be found. Law enforcement needs to step up on these children and start with it being a criminal investigation until the child's found.
Yeah.
Not just say it just run away, because this child had some fears. He didn't want to go out barefooted, and I can see why if there's a bunch of ants crawling all over him.
Right.
And if he did hear them arguing, you know, that could have been a red flag. But I just don't. I pray this child is alive. It's like Summer Wells and Little Joe Clyde and all them, Little Harmony. You know, they're just at the mercy of us. Mm-hmm. And, you know, elderly people, dogs, and children is my thing. I love them better than anything, all of them. They're so, you know, at mercy.
Yeah.
But there's some things that needs to be considered here. You know, what mother walks off and just says, well, all right, he's gone, I'm leaving. I would go through the pits of hell searching everybody, and I don't care how spooky they'd be for my child.
Yeah. I've seen women take grown men down over their children. Like, you know, Incredible Hulk.
Yeah.
I've seen a little grandma take an Incredible Hulk down over a child.
They ain't nobody, even my son's dad, gonna hit my child. There's ways of discipline. We don't. They're given to us by God to care for and to raise. They don't belong to us. Mm-hmm. In a sense. God has given them us and entrusted us with those children to take care of them. And what woman would decide over that, her child?
Yeah.
He's just an evil, angry, pathetic person. And some of these sites thinks he's just the cutest thing in the world.
It just turns your stomach, doesn't it?
Well, you know, they're not absolutely. I think they're lower than Chris to find humor in that.
Yeah.
They're pathetic people too, but you know, you got a few of them out there that just thinks that's the grandest thing. But maybe it's for clicks and giggles. I don't know.
It's still, you know, there's good ways to do it and bad ways to do it, and I know that we all want to hear what Chris and Katie have to say. But if you're going to bring them on your platform, have them talk about relevant stuff related to Sebastian, not goofy voices.
Well, I just hope he don't quit his day job, because I found no humor at all in that.
Mm-mm.
And he needs to call home when he finds work. That's all I can say, because he's not. That's not humorous at all. Mm-hmm. And to me, it was a mockery of that child. And I don't know, from my understanding, I had seen where they had actually, Seth had got a lawyer, and he has got the CPS's reports. So this may shine some lights on a lot of things here. And I hope it does if they're involved. Now, I can't say for sure that they done anything. Yeah. But I don't see that child just getting up and walking out.
But you know, it's the whole. It's not. It seems like one big event that happened before Christmas. It seems like when Faith went back home with Nina, something Faith told her or something caused Nina to go immediately file an emergency order of protection. And
yes,
that was at the beginning of January. By the end of January, Chris has packed up and took his camper to Mississippi and hadn't been home since, according to him.
Yes, ma'am. And those, you know, it can't be all that good if these children can't be all wrong. Mm-mm. You know, children, you know, they tell what they see, and they're the most honest little fellers ever was. They tell what they see, and to me, all these people can't be all wrong.
No, they're not. They're not, and it's not everybody else, and just everybody's picking on Chris and Katie. Like this is not something I would ever put a parent that is missing a child through. Period. You know, but they're not making sense, and their story's changed, and that scares the crap out of a lot of us.
Well, yeah, that's true, because you know, look at poor little old Summer Wells. Her little old body probably is laying out there somewhere. Look at little Joe Clyde and Harmony. You know, Seth can't go. I mean, Sebastian ain't living in the woods without food and water. Nobody can do that. You only live like 10 to 14 days without water.
Yeah. And like I said, you know, and they're talking, if you listen to how the family expresses the attention span of Sebastian, about how his attention span's not there, like he can be okay and clear-headed for 1 second, and then the next second he can be in the clouds. So you're talking about this child that's out there in the wilderness that orchestrated running away from his home. How would he have the attention span to orchestrate this?
That's exactly right, ma'am. I don't blame anybody, and I'm not calling out anybody. You know, it's just my opinion and my opinion only, but this child just can't. I mean, if he was handed off, they're still going to be in trouble.
Yeah.
You know, but I would have just let him have his dad and just gone on about my way if they had something happen to him. I'm not saying they done it, but if something had happened to him, why not just give him to his dad? And Grandma needs to get her wig on, you know?
Yeah. She's losing her cookies just a little bit, and you know, I kind of understand. I wish she would kind of stay off social media for her son's sake, because she's really not helping, you know, his situation. But you can't tell moms anything. You guys all know that, you know, moms are going to be moms. They're going to do what they're going to do. So, you know.
But, you know, this is the thing, you know, poor old Seth, I mean, how much more is he going to be run over? I would get some kind of papers on him for threatening me. Because he outright threatened death right there.
I'm pretty sure law enforcement has it. I mean, it's plastered all over YouTube. I'm pretty sure, you know, Seth has a hand with law enforcement. Tony's got a hand in law enforcement. I'm pretty confident that law enforcement is very much aware of these threats and that video call.
Well, sweetheart, I ain't going to hold you no more, but hello to everyone. Hope everyone had a great Mother's Day. And this is just my opinion. This is just my thoughts. I just allege, you know, that there's something wrong here. Something's majorly wrong. And I feel like that they've had plenty of time to get all this stuff, cell phone stuff and tracks on their cars and stuff, and everybody's. And Seth is pretty much cleared himself. I mean, the work, you know, with work.
Well, so is Chris.
Yeah.
If we really want to be factual here, Chris has cleared himself too.
Yeah, exactly. He done that on his own.
way at the beginning. It was like day 2. He was cleared.
There's really nobody going to be cleared till this case is cleared.
Yeah.
You know, till Sebastian is found, and I pray he's alive.
Me too.
I just pray that everybody, you know, I look every time I get out, and I live in Tennessee. I mean, he could be in Miami for all I know, but I still look. And if I see him, I'll walk up to him. I'm just that bold.
Yeah, I always walk up. I'm always like, hi, how are you doing? I'm just so lost. Do you know where I'm at? You know, that's kind of how I am. You know, I just walk up to people, and they're just so happy to help me that, you know.
But we've got to, unless he's handed off or something bad happened to him, we got to think straight on this. He can't live in the woods without food and water. So that's an out. And I hear somebody say, well, he can be living out in the woods. No, unless he's hitting.
I don't think people understand how Sebastian is. I wish people, I need to see if we can find a good video of Sebastian where he's talking and stuff. You know, people I still think that they think he could orchestrate this. I'm saying that there's no way he could.
No, I don't think so either. But, you know, we all need to get our wigs on and think he can't be living out in the woods. No. Ain't nobody can live out in the woods without food and water. Now, if he had somebody that was standing behind him saying, well, you can eat this and you can drink that and whatever. But besides that, you know, there's all kinds of parasites in these waters and stuff. And Giardia will make you want to die. So, I mean, you got to study these plants before you can eat them. And that child don't know. So he's, you know, I don't even listen to these, forest seers or whatever they are. They don't know, but anyway, y'all have a great day.
All
And that's
right,
just
Miss
my
Pearl. Well, thank you for calling, and call back anytime. You got the sweetest Southern accent. I love it.
well, thank you so much.
You take care. God bless.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, guys, that is the last of our calls. I want to thank everybody that came out and decided to show up and participate in this. And of course, we've got a new member, Scorn. I didn't welcome you. I didn't see you. Thank you. God bless. Ellie, thank you for the super sticker. Gail, thank you for becoming the newest member of the coffee club. And I just wanted to let you know, Stephanie, I will check the messages. I may have already read it and just didn't respond, because if it's from Saturday, today's Monday. I think I went through all the Saturday, but I got so far behind with all the research, so I'll go back and make sure that I didn't miss anything. But thank you for letting me know, guys. Have an amazing Monday. Rock it out with your coffee beans out. We're going to continue to go through the Sebastian Rogers case, because this is one that I'm heavily invested in as far as information, mapping, timing, trying to build this this timeline, and also advocate for this young boy, because we need to find him. I truly, if I had to trust my gut for the search, I would be looking in Gallatin, and I'd be looking along the I-40 corridor. That to me seems like the most probable place this child could be. I truly don't know. Horn Lake has come up. If we have family in Horn Lake, it's time for you guys to start getting out there with your canoes or whatever. See if you can find anything in the lake, along the edge of the lake. There's a lot of things that we can be doing as a true crime community, as you know, you guys being on the other end that live in the area. Just do your thing. If you've got a boat and you want to go fishing, just be on the lookout, right? Like, while you're fishing, just be on the lookout for anything odd or out of the ordinary. Live your normal life, live your best life. But while you're living your best life, while you're in these areas that may be hot spots for some possible evidence or information for Sebastian Rogers, just keep your eyes and ears open, right? Just keep your eyes and ears open. And remember, we're looking for glasses. We're looking for a black long sleeve shirt with a graphic on it. We're looking for pants with stripes down them. We're looking for this boy I'm on the opposite side right here. So, do what you do, live your life. But while you're living it, if you're in this area, if you're in the Hendersonville area, if you're in the Horn Lake area, if you're in the Mississippi Yogi Bear area, just keep your eyes out while you're doing your things. Because I really, truly believe there's a lot like that beach market. I know that there's been somebody there that went and talked to the owners, and the owners have not given anybody permission to check the pond behind the beach store out there in Gallatin. If they're, would they be willing to go out there and just check the pond? Because there is a drive that goes right to that pond. There is literally a way that you can back up to the pond. So, and that's at the Beach Creek Market there in Gallatin. Can somebody go back there and check? Would the owners allow somebody to go back there and drop a sonar in the water, or drop a camera in the water to see if anything's there? I don't know. Maybe the pond back there is only, ankle deep. I don't know. I'm looking at it on a map. But it looks like a really probable place that somebody could be somewhere. And it's really close to Chris's mom's house. It's really close to a route that he could take from his home back to work that day. I didn't like sharing this, but I wanted to be out there by now, and I'm not. And I feel like these types of conversations are holding things up, because we need to be looking at these things. Beach Market. If you know the owner of Beach Market, sounds like he's been around there forever and ever. Amen. If you've got it in, you got some elbow grease, ask him if we can search the pond. I'd like to search the pond behind the store. So that's where I'm at. There's also some other areas that I'd like to search too, but maybe just getting some people out there that can look at some of these areas for me might, I can't be out there personally myself, but maybe somebody can go out there and check these areas on my behalf, or I'll send them the maps. I don't care. We're here to help. All right, guys, rock it out with your coffee beans out. Don't forget to be fearless. If you see something, say something. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And until next time, please be safe and, more importantly, kind to one another. We have enough bad things going on in this world. We don't need to be part of it. If you'd like to help, I've got 2 other channels on TikTok. I got Bullhorn Betty and Bullhorn Betty 2.0. Please consider subbing those up. If you found this interesting, this live interesting, don't keep me a secret. Share it around on your favorite groups and share the information. We work round the clock here trying to get you guys the most up-to-date information, and right now we're going back to the beginning of the case and checking out and checking for anything that we may have missed up front, and I'm finding a lot. I am finding a lot. So we're going to be breaking that down as we revisit this case again. So God bless, guys. Go make it a great day and rock it out with your coffee beans out. And until next time, I'll still be here, but will you?
From the East Coast to the West Coast, we are everywhere true crime is. We are asking for the public's help. We are searching in the woods. We are doing what it takes here on the Bullhorn Betty channels to find answers to the most alarming cases we have been watching on the news. I can tell you personally that I have traveled this entire country seeking these answers and bringing that content right here to you here on the Bullhorn Betty channels and Bullhorn Betty Crime Stories. We are happy with the work that we've done. We brought many answers to the public, and we have defied mainstream media in our pursuit of the truth in these cases. We will continue to work, we will continue to fight for these victims, and we will continue to tell their stories here on my channels. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty brand of channels and the Coffee Club. Thank you for your love, thank you for your support, and more importantly, thank you for allowing me to bring these victims' stories to each and every one of you, advocating for each of these victims. God bless you, God bless America, and more importantly, God bless our victims.